first introduce myself. I'm Corina. I'm the founder of Impact Market Romania. Felt that Romanian entrepreneurs need to hear about this certification. Is one of the top certifications in sustainability today. And I see a lot of worth in measuring the impact that the company can have. And then in some benefits that you will also discover from our speakers. And the first speaker today I'd like to invite is Asli. Asli is the co-founder of Moritoys Turkey. I would like to invite Asli to talk with us today and basically to tell us the answer of three main questions. What is Moritoys doing? Why did you decide to go for the B Corp certification? And what benefits you have observed now that you are a B Corp certified company? So Asli, the floor is yours. Thank you for joining.
Very nice to meet you all. As Corina mentioned, I'm Asli, and I'm one of the co-founders of Moritoys. We are a 4-year-old company. So we were founded 4 years ago. And what we are doing is we design and manufacture toys for preschoolers. We have puzzles, we have family games and stickers and activity sets. And when I'm talking about my company, I will just to being an impact business model in B Corp certification process, because from my previous experiences, usually people are more trying to understand how you form the impact business model, develop the business model for B Corp certification process. So we are in the education aspect of an impact model. Because our toys are basically helping kids to develop certain skills. We develop all our toys with the help of experts, child development expert, pediatricians, psychologists. And what we are trying to do is to help kids develop certain skills like social skills, cognitive development, language development, and so on. And while doing this, we are trying to be bias-free. And what this means in toys is, for example, all our toys are gender neutral. We never have any, this is a toy for a boy, this toy is a toy for a girl. We never have this segregation because apparently, the toys we play with actually change even the, the professions that we are going to select. So one of the reasons why there are more engineers right now is because, boys are brought up with like cars and building toys, while the girls are, brought up with role-playing toys, teacup sets and so on. So there's actually scientific evidence that this actually leads into people selecting different paths along the way in their lives. So we are trying to be very careful about not discriminating any toys by gender. Also, all the pictures we portray in our puzzles, they show the world we want our kids to be living in the future. For example, when we are developing a city scene, it always have like a recycling corner. It has wind turbines for for energy generation. We have people of all age active in the city. So older people actually working in a farmer's market, a dad carrying her baby. So we try to actually create this bias-free world for all the images that kids are seeing. So we have the education pillar, we have the bias-free pillar, and the third one is about accessibility. So we want to make our toys as accessible as possible, so more kids will have access to what we are trying to create here. And we do this in different ways. For example, of course, we are trying to make our toys available as much as we can and at a price that is, you know, as reasonable as possible. But when you are from Turkey and you are dealing with a huge economic crisis, that can limit people who can access our toys, of course. So on top of making our products available for sale, what we are trying to do is we are also preparing downloadable contents. So as a marketing material, rather than spending our money only on Instagram or, you know, all those outlets, what we are doing is we prepare downloadable contents like, you know, cut and play games or content for nurseries. So, you know, they can just download them and it will have our logo on it. So, you know, that's a very good way of giving the families and parents the message that, you know, a school teacher is choosing Moritoys. So it's, you know, it's a carefully developed brand, carefully developed games. So we are trying to make people access our know-how or our expertise through these materials. Also, recently, we have partnered with Turkey's largest foundation working on autism, and we converted our toys to be autism friendly. So in our toys, you get, you know, how to play with this toy prescriptions. So right now, our toys comes with, okay, how would you play with this toy with a kid with special needs, with autism? So this way, we actually started having our toys more accessible for kids with autism, because 1 of every 36 kids has autism. So this was another example of how we are trying to make our toys as accessible as possible and as relevant as possible with people with different needs. So actually, these 3 pillars makes us an impact business model, which is an important aspect of if you want to be a B Corp. So I will now move on to our B Corp journey. I don't know how familiar you are, but you have to fill a form first. And what you are trying to do is achieving a score over 80 or 90, I don't remember, it has been 8 months. So of course we started filling out that assessment, and we got certain numbers at our assessments. And then what we tried to do is for some of the items, we decided, okay, this is something we can do. And this process actually is about improving yourself as well. So, you know, throughout the way, actually, this B Corp process helped us know better for us the processes of our company, making it more sustainable. So we developed ourselves during the B Corp process as well. So it's not about, you know, how perfect you are, but it is more about like how much you want to invest in terms of time and energy into this process. And, you know, we hit a certain number. I think our initial assessment score was around 105 or 106. And we ended up with 92 or 93. So I think that is a very important message that I will give to all companies that are aspiring to be B Corps, because after you submit your assessment, then after a couple weeks or months, based on the workload of the B Corp team, you will start getting questions about your answers. You know, how you do this. Show us the proof of your of this process, you know, all those information. And sometimes even when you are doing everything exactly the right, you might lose points. So one example is for us about living wages. So in Moritoys, we do have a living wage for all of our employees, and living wage is a significant contributor. I think it was 3 points by itself. When we receive the questions, okay, prove us that you are actually giving a living wage to your employees, we downloaded the most recent living wage report that is created by Anchor for Turkey. And it was 1.5 years ago, the last assessment. So what we did is carried that number to with 18 months, with putting in factoring in the inflation rate, monthly inflation, also converting the USD equivalent of 18 months before. You know, this amount of Turkish lira is, say, $500, and today $500 is this much of Turkish lira. So look, you know, with all inflation and USD adjusted, we are giving a living wage. And they said, no Anchor report, no points. So because we didn't have any recent Anchor report available, we lost our point there. So you might encounter such obstacles along the way. So make sure not to be at the limit. So say you're at the limit, just look into the questionnaire. I'm sure there would be some items that you could be improving along the way. So just go a little bit higher and just take the additional steps to make sure that you have a buffer. Other than that, it's if you are really believe in the mission of B Corp, I think the whole process only contributes to your business. If you have time and energy and willingness to spend on this cause, everything you need, everything you did will pay off. It has been 8 months since we become B Corp. And right after becoming a B Corp, we started our operations in the UK, in England. We started with Amazon Co-UK, and after 4 or 5 months, because it went well, we decided to form our own company in the UK and, you know, start expanding to like bookstores, toy stores, chains. And first of all, as a Turkish citizen living in Turkey and has no connection to the UK, it's complicated to, you know, start your bank account, start your, you know, company documentation there. And I know the fact that when they ask you for the business supporting documents, when I put that I'm a B Corp, here is a link, you know, that elevates your trustworthiness. And it makes, you know, all these processes better. And when you approach to companies for partnership, being a B Corp, it really makes a difference. Like they look at you from a different perspective because they know what B Corp is and they know where to put you in their, you know, value chain. So I think it really helped us, especially when going abroad, because, you know, they have no reference about anything that you have accomplished so far. So this has really been helpful to us in terms of that. Also, B Corp is a great community. Whenever you need help in anything, you really do find a contact, because when you email any company, chances are you will not receive a response because you're just a no-name person, no-name company. But when you write to a B Corp representative, saying, hey, we are a B Corp. And, you know, the idea here is actually to build like a coalition of businesses who help each other because, you know, we are trying to achieve something bigger than what we are doing alone. So that sense of community has been really helpful for us as well. So in a nutshell, that has been my story, our B Corp story, and what has being B Corp helped us with. So if you have any questions now, or even in the later, you can just shoot me an email. Corina has my email anyways. I will be happy to help and answer.
Asli, thank you so much for your story. It's a really impressive one. And I just seen a quick question in the chat. Like besides the workers, as you described already, what area you found challenging in your assessment? Or maybe one that you think you scored the best. You can pick which one you want to present.
Okay, for challenging, for us, the documentation about our suppliers was a little bit more challenging because you depend on others' work. So we are a licensor of Peppa Pig. I don't know if anyone has anything to do with kids, but it's a big character from Hasbro. So being able to print our Peppa Pig toys, we have to send all these audits to all our printing houses. So we already were at a good stage in terms of supply chain management, but even with that, it was like really time consuming to send us all these invoices showing that we are using FSC certified paper. Now, please send us your electricity bills. You know, all those information. Gathering that took time, and it was a lot of effort. So I think that was the most challenging part. And what has been the easier part? I think the impact business model, because it was already in our DNA. You know, we already have done all these things. So it was just to put that into a context. And by the way, I'm sure you're already using it, but ChatGPT will be your closest friend during this process. So, you know, with ChatGPT, just putting all this business model, you know, into a pager, it was the easiest part.
Thank you very much, Asli. It's quite a story, and if I get any more questions for you, I will send it your way via email. We have the chance to hear from an entrepreneur who has had a lot of challenges and fought with some big players in this industry, and this is Domagoj. Thank you very much for joining today. Domagoj is the CEO of Earthbound Sneakers. It's the first B Corp in Croatia, certified. And he has been involved in this company in everything from designing to sourcing materials. Some of the materials even come from Romania, as I understood the first time we discussed, and also sales and production, and he's very passionate about his journey. So Domagoj, please tell us a little bit about your business. How did you come with this business model? How did you thought of B Corp certification to support what you're doing? And of course, what benefits you can see now that you're certified and the first B Corp of Croatia. So the floor is yours.
Thank you, Corina. First of all, this story is inseparable from me and my brother. It's both of us together in this from day one. So our story is kind of it goes back to a family business. Our father had a shoe factory with his own brand, and at one point, my brother and we took over the company and transformed it into this development studio for luxury brands, mostly French and Dutch brands. But very soon after taking over the company, my brother realized that we are part of a problem that's not being recognized. It was, I think, early 2014, before sustainable fashion wasn't even a term. Microplastics was not a subject, and but my brother told me that very passionately that he will either go away from our business, or he's gonna try to use the knowledge that we have to make a change. And it was really a time where nobody was really thinking about the detrimental effect that the footwear industry has on the environment. More than 24 billion pairs of shoes are made each year. Most of them are consumed in the West. Most of them are made from plastic derivatives in various forms and shapes. And the more expensive ones are made from leather, which is a problem unto itself, but the way that the leather is tanned is even a bigger problem, and it has a huge environmental impact. So we decided to approach redesigning footwear completely, but from an ecological perspective. So we didn't say we didn't decide to use recycled plastics or make the product timeless in design, but rather we chose a filter that was radical ecology. So if any material of any part of the process doesn't meet our radically high ecological standards, then it cannot be a part of our product. And this is where we set the bar really high. I will give a comparison. If we would go to develop a high-end luxury sneakers for a French brand, from the point that we start designing it and developing it to the point where it's ready for the market, it could be anywhere from 2 to 6 months. And for our product, it took us 6 years to find all the suppliers and materials and put them together in a way that meets all the criteria that footwear needs to meet. And that's fashion, that's color, that's durability, comfort, and everything, and to meet our ecological criteria. And this is where B Corp comes into the picture, because when we finally developed the product and launched it to the market in 2020, we were making such radical ecological claims that we were always afraid that we will meet high resistance and accusations of greenwashing, basically, because we said we were always saying we are the world's most ecological sneaker. We have the highest natural carbon bio-based content, but these were all based on our internal numbers and our internal info, and we were just waiting for the moment where we will be challenged on those claims. And one very funny thing is that we were never challenged on our claims, which only means that people are taking marketing messages quite lightly and face value, and there is a very small percentage of people that are actually challenging brands on their communication. But we said, but to go 3 years back, we said we need external validation of our claims. And two things that we identify is, one, being Ecotex certified. And so we went through Ecotex certification, which is not an ecological certificate, which is basically a certificate that says that all the components of our product are completely safe to human health, which doesn't mean that they're safe for nature. And the only certification that we saw that meets and fits into our story and would solve partially our problems is B Corp. And then we started on this B Corp journey, I think 2.5 years ago, or maybe even 3 years ago, I think, and we were finally certified in November last year. It was a long journey because we had we were the first one in Croatia, and we met the same problems as our Greek colleagues, that we couldn't prove that we were providing a living wage. We couldn't do a full mission log. For people who don't know how the process is, it's a really long and thorough process, and sometimes you get surprised of where you lose points on stuff that you actually have implemented, and when you gain points on stuff that you we're not expecting that you meet the criteria for. So the certification journey is a treacherous one, it's a long one, and you really need to be determined to finish it, because as I said, as I always say, there were at least 4, maybe 5 points where we were like, is this really for us? Should we just give up? Because it's really a difficult journey. We are also a young company, a small company, and dedicating a lot of time and energy, and both of them mean money, to something that's not in the view of the investors, something pressing or something urgent or something too important. It's really hard to persist on that journey, and this is why a very small percentage of companies that embarked on the certification journey actually follow through and finish it. So in the end, we got even more from the certification than we expected. So we were really looking at it from two perspectives. One was the communication one, so that we get external validation of our claims, and really our certification is based on a lot of documentary evidence in the environmental protection business impact model, and the toxin remediation business impact model. But the other one was like, how can we protect our mission from investors? Because we have external investors now that are really aligned with our values, but tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, we might be forced to accept money or from investors that will at one point, maybe not at start, but in the future, question our determination to really be radical in our mission. So one of the things that B Corp actually offers is protection of the mission. So if we would deviate from our path, we would lose certification. If we lose certification, then we would face backlash. And this is a mechanism that helps us protect our mission for the future. But what we got from B Corp that we really did not expect is the community. And we really did not expect this. And it was not part of the plan. And when we were invited for the Slovenian B Corp summit, which was the first one, I think, this is where we really understood the value and the impact of what we actually did. We felt like we were being celebrated. Even more than we realized that we did a big thing. So this was amazing. And again, the community is really open, and we were part of other communities, like the EIT Climate Kick community and some other investment communities, but we never got that sense of belonging that we get here. And last but not least, we got certified in late November. Then we had December, which is like a holiday month, and then so it's basically like 4 months that we've been part of this, and we were not really actively working on the community part, but we see doors opening everywhere, and it's amazing. Like we were just now 2 days ago accepted to a really globally important sustainability platform for fashion called Wolf and Badger, and I had that on my list for 3 years. And when we finally submitted to get accepted there, it usually takes at least 2 weeks to get reviewed, and we were accepted in 24 hours. And when I asked why, and basically it was because of B Corp. And we also got a lifetime discount because of being a B Corp, but that's not so important. But like, you as a sustainability brand, you get asked a lot of questions, and if you are a B Corp, none of those questions are really asked. It's just skipped. It's like a given. These guys had to go through the certification. It's difficult, and if they got it, then they are the real deal. So that this is my I have some questions.
Some questions.
A lot of questions. Are generally investors put off by a mission lock? I don't honestly know, because we were not we are not in a raising process, but we will soon enter a raise. But I think it's a good thing to filter investors through this, because if they are not ready to accept the mission lock, then they are not the real investor for you. So I think it's really a protective mechanism, you know. Yeah. So you mentioned that there were some moments when really questioned what is more difficult. What's difficult in the journey is the time. I think it's the time. You know, we were like, okay, we know who we are. We know that we will be able to prove who we are. But then you end up in some queues, in some waiting periods, and then you ask some questions that you think shouldn't be asked. It's a roller coaster. It's an emotional and time-consuming roller coaster. But in the end, it all makes sense. When you open the and start submitting your answers to the through the impact business assessment software, you're like, what the hell? Why the hell am I being asked these questions? But in the end, it makes sense. One of the most important things is that we always, at first, we thought that we should answer all the questions and be good in all the areas, but that's not how it works. You are good at some stuff and you cannot be good in everything. Why we changed the name? A customer. We changed the name because it really didn't reflect who we are and where we wanted to go. It was a name that it was a name that personally meant a lot to us, but it really that didn't mean anything to the market. And we faced issues with really sending the message out there. And this is what we see since we rebranded, that again, similar to B Corp certification, a lot of questions that were usually asked are not being asked anymore, because the name now quite fast and simply reflects on who we are and where we're going. I know a lot of people got attached to the old name, but we really were not. So it was really important to us to find a name that really reflects who we are, and with Earthbound, we are there. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know if I have time, but there's one more question.
Yes.
Product certification have a different scope than a company certification. For products, there are specific environmental product declarations, or EPD, environmental labor, which each with their own criteria, rules, and verification means, and with a life cycle approach. Why was this not possible for anyone to do in a way for providing transparent environmental information? Yeah, there are a lot of labels, but I think if you have a good example, Adriana, please send it out. But when we were investigating this 3 years ago, we really didn't find any certification that would be meaningful and would be recognizable, because B Corp certifies the company, but through what? It certifies the company through the products that it makes. So when we were being certified through our impact business model, it was completely focused on the products that we made. And it was certification of the products that we make under the brand and not the company itself. So really, it is a certification of the products, because we had to submit scientific evidence about our products, provide evidence that all the products that we produce are made in this way that was laboratorically tested and externally verified. So at the core of the B Corp certification, we have other certifications and scientific research and testing that we had to submit in order to verify our impact business model. So basically, I think B Corp is not just a company certification, but also a product certification. So yeah, there are a lot of certifications, but I think we need to choose the ones that fit us the best. And I think B Corp gives us the widest scope of all of these. But again, Adriana, if you have any certificates specifically that you are talking about, I would be happy if you can provide me info.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Domagoj, and also thank you to everyone that has led here with their questions. I think your passion rises through the story. I'm very happy to hear from you today.
Just one sentence to Adriana. Life cycle assessment is one of the documents that we submitted to get our business impact business model verified. So yeah, there is a lot underneath B Corp. Yeah.
Thank you, Domagoj. It's really a pleasure to have you here. I want now to go to our next speaker, Dolores HARTIG. She works in the R&D department of Tosla Nutricosmetics, a fresh B Corp from Slovenia, a company that is growing nowadays with new facilities of production. And even hear Dolores talking about this in the latest podcast realized by Tosla in this month, which is called Don't Trust All-in-One Formulations, How Minerals and Vitamins Compete with Each Other. I would like to address to you the same questions. Tell us a little bit about what it means, Nutricosmetics, and what is your company doing? How did you thought about becoming a B Corp, and what benefits you have seen afterwards, after all this work was done?
Thank you very much, Corina, for this introduction. Yeah, I come from Tosla Nutricosmetics, and I would like to introduce you what Tosla is doing, what is my company. We are a manufacturer of high-performing liquid collagen supplements, and our organization has been founded in 2014. And just like as Domagoj's company, Earthbound, we were also certified in November last year. And our company, as a fast developing company, we are proud of being located in a small town called Ajdovština in the east part of Slovenia. We are oriented towards nutricosmetics sector, which means nutricosmetic itself, that you take supplements and you want to achieve the same effects as you take topical ingredients, but the effect comes from within, of course. We are working, as I said, towards the nutricosmetic sector by developing and producing dietary supplements targeting beauty, well-being, and health industry. Our aim is to blur the lines between topical and digestible cosmetics, and want to make sure that the results oriented towards taste and clinical affirmation are visible. So every other product, we are dedicated to have it clinically tested to represent our effects on the products. We provide leading brands with flexible full stack nutricosmetic products development, as well as product service. Let's start with answering the question, why did we decide to go with B Corp certification? For us, it was only a natural step forward, since Tosla has already been committed to the values that are already B Corp standards. It aligns perfectly with our mission and values, and with the certificate, we provide a formal recognition of our efforts. For our business impact model, let's start like this. You choose on which field you want to concentrate more during the B Corp assessment, because you cannot achieve maximum in every field simultaneously, and B Corp is aware of that. They also don't advise you to reach top points in governance and keep the same results in environment and customers field. It is simply not manageable at the start. We allowed our vision and mission, which states that our sustainable business operation and social responsibility will be demonstrated by taking care of the quality of life of the wider society and the local environment in which we operate. We are committed to taking care of clean environment, clean water, green energy, and responsible work processes. This means that implementing renewable energy resources is in the form of solar panels was an important step. The waste in any form that goes into the land and water is strictly regulated, and all data is measured. As for our community impact business model, we proudly invest in wider development, and we support sports, culture, youth, people with special needs, and those who are less privileged in society. And we want to build a better future for everyone by doing it together. And what was the last? What can I say about what was the biggest benefit, the outcome of having the B certification? Yeah, okay, thanks. The biggest benefit we've experienced through the certification process is the profound enhancement of our credibility and trust with stakeholders, including customers, employees, and our partners. We have already noticed the positive outcome from obtaining the B Corp certification. And I have a perfect example for that. This year, we attended Cosmoprof in Bologna. The Cosmoprof is a leading international fair dedicated to beauty and cosmetic industry. And we had our own booth there. Not only were we noticed for our products, but we stood out because of a B Corp certificate as well. When you're a B Corp certificate, you can play with their logo, you can put it anywhere you want, so it's just you are more noticed. And the B Corp certification has distinguished us in a competitive market, allowing us to stand out as a leader in sustainability and social responsibility. It has been shown that clients increasingly seek out and prefer to do business with companies that are verified to operate with high ethical standards. And now we are a certified company taking part in a movement that seeks to redefine success in businesses, placing values on more than just profits, but also on people, the planet, and the purpose. With this, I don't know, what can I say? I am open for questions, and maybe you're interested, I can share how should you give you my own suggestions, how you could start it, because I can speak to you from the first hand, because I was the one doing this whole process and I know how it goes. So maybe I would suggest, if you want to apply for the B Corp assessment, that you understand and discuss clearly why you want to pursue B Corp certification. If you notice that it already aligns with your company's core values and long-term vision, then I don't see a reason for hesitation. With the whole assessment, you will positively engage all the employees in the process, since it is not a one-man job. It's teamwork with one person representing the whole process. In the end, you will definitely stand out, since the logo of B Corp already has a good reputation.
Thank you very much, Dolores. And I want to ask you something, because you are talking very much about beauty from within. So everything that we can have in our bodies is actually reflected in our skin eventually, everything that goes well or not so well in our body. And you have mentioned in the podcast how minerals and vitamins compete with each other. Can you give me a small example of minerals and vitamins competing with each other now, quickly, for our audience?
Quickly. Okay, I was talking about magnesium and iron when you take supplements. Okay, we are talking about supplements. We're not talking about when you have a variety of meals in front of you. Of course, the amount of vitamins and minerals are present in a really smaller amount in the food you eat than when you consume a supplement. That's why you take supplements, because you lack them in your food. And the reason why I mentioned those two minerals is because they compete with receptors present in your gut, and the magnesium may affect the proper absorption of iron, therefore leading the lack of iron in your body. Why I suggested is that you take iron in the morning and take the magnesium in the evening, because magnesium helps to relax your muscles and therefore relax you before your sleep. I hope that was interesting enough.
It's something that you can advise people to take more or less, or how this could go in a best way.
Vitamin C supplements. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna repeat myself from what I said in the podcast, because you cannot change the facts. The supplements that are most common to see is that vitamin C is sold in a higher concentration, like 1000 milligrams. And from the regulations and what is the maximum absorption of your body is to maximum 150 milligrams. Because the vitamin C in higher concentration can have a negative side effect that I noticed on myself, is that when I take it for a longer period of time, in those 1000 milligrams amount, I tend to have continuous headaches. And otherwise, if your organism needs 150 milligrams, it's gonna absorb it. The rest, you just urinate it, and it's completely useless.
Tactical or strategic decisions were taken as a result of the certification process, or as you went through the process? Of course, not alone, with the team.
Okay, so how you started? The tactic, okay, I was new to it completely. So what I had to do, I took 1 month just going through the questions. I had no idea sometimes what they were asking me of, but you do it, I did it all on my own. And the assessment is free to apply. You can apply by your own email or company's email, and you can just go through questions, see how it goes. You will find out that there are some parts where you can get, let's say, easy points, because it will require you to use your own already policies within your company and just do a little bit of small change according to B Corp, what they're asking you in those questions. You will see if it aligns well, or that it is not maybe a worth of your time at that point.
For example, this was a decision coming from the certification, maybe because of the certification, the business decided to grow, maybe, or expand, or something similar. What do you think?
The growth was planned even before the certification. The certification was just a plus, because you get to share the certification. You are definitely more noticed because of it. And what could I say? What do we plan in something new? It was in plan, but definitely B Corp was a push towards installing these solar panels. And I think in 1 year, we will be more than 60% using renewable energy of it. And yeah, B Corp was a big push so that we know what sustainable practices are now respected and looked forward to in big industries.
That's perfect. Thank you very much. And again, one last question, maybe from Adriana. Was there an impact on innovation from looking at the products and company carefully?
Mm-hmm. Okay, there, from the founding of Tosla, before choosing a raw material you want to use in a product, we have to do tons of researches to make sure that this ingredient is backed up with some clinical studies and some researches. Then what is also beneficial from this assessment is actively finding the solutions towards either minimizing packaging waste or finding reusable, biodegradable plastics, and even, of course, cardboards. But biodegradable plastic and plastic in general with food is a tricky stuff, and but in the end, it's not stopping us to research it and find out the best solution.
I want to thank everyone for coming today, and I hope that you as an audience got your shot of inspiration to use the B Corp certification, first of all, as an instrument if you want to measure your impact, and later on, if you're happy with it and decided really to be courageous, as these people here showed us today, please become B Corp certified. So you have a roadmap ahead of you, but it's not an impossible journey. Thank you very much for your participation today.